Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to a new episode of Business Insider. I am Mohamed Abdelrahim. In this episode, we'll be talking about energy mix, the best way to mix between conventional and renewable energy, and the best cost scenario, while keeping carbon emissions at zero, if possible. And when we say carbon emissions at zero, not only is it good for combating global warming or climate change, but it is also the best cost scenario when you look at the longer term picture. So this is what we're going to be talking about tonight here in this episode. But first, as usual, let's take a look at our top economic stories for this past week. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi inaugurated on Monday, the 26th of December, 2 plants for the production of medical and industrial gas and a tri-generation plant in the chemical industries complex in Abu Rawash in El Giza. The president asserted that the state is keen on bolstering the local production of various products and strategic commodities in order to reduce imports from abroad and ease demand on dollars. Sisi noted that the state has been seeking to produce some strategic industries such as chlorine and other medical gases to meet the local demand, adding that the coronavirus pandemic had forced the state to establish gases factories despite the fact that medical gases production was sufficient. He also noted that the inauguration of such factories would enable the state to cope up with all the developments in the medical sector that is likely to happen in the upcoming years. Sisi also added that the state would seek to provide the local needs from hydrogen, stressing that the state is very much keen on the stability of the agricultural sector. He touched upon a plan to inaugurate a nitrogen fertilizers complex in the upcoming stage, to be able to cope with the increased agricultural lots. The president added that it is important that ministries and authorities have their own saving vessels. The president also pointed out that prices of materials and ores have skyrocketed due to the waves of economic instability in the world. He noted that it is necessary to classify the materials which are imported according to their importance to the state. Sisi noted that the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war triggered particularly severe disruptions to supply chains. The president, meanwhile, said that it is necessary to depend on the local production of several products that are necessary to the state. Sisi said that any project can take between 3 to 4 years, adding that the state is keen on not importing certain products and materials in order to enhance local production and to reduce dollar demand. The president further said that 6 factories producing about 700,000 tons of nitrogen fertilizers will be opened in Ain al-Sukhna in February and March. He affirmed that the state is keen on stabilizing the prices of agricultural inputs and added that during his inauguration of 2 factories for the medical and industrial gases in Giza's Abu Rawash district and, of course, a tri-generation plant, that if the prices of gas which is used in producing fertilizers increased, so the prices of this product will in turn go up, affirming that the state aims to keep price levels without increase. And the Ministry of International Cooperation, along with the Transport Ministry, have signed a $301 million deal with the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, on the second tranche of funding for the first phase of the 4th line of the Cairo Metro line. The agreement was inked between International Cooperation Minister Rania Al-Mashat, Transport Minister Kamil El-Wazir, Japan's ambassador to Egypt, Oka Hiroshi, Senior Representative JICA in Egypt's office, Shino Mazau, and a host of Egyptian and Japanese officials and businessmen. The deal is part of the state's development efforts to upgrade the transport sector and provide better means of transportation to accommodate population density in Greater Cairo. The first phase of the 4th line aims to link between the heart of Cairo and Giza, with 16 stations to put an end to traffic jams. Al-Mashat praised the strong ties between Egypt and Japan and cooperation in the transport domain under the state's vision to develop infrastructure and expand in carrying out transport projects. For his part, Mr. Hiroshi stressed that the implementation of the metro project represents a new phase of fruitful cooperation between Cairo and Tokyo through the use of the state-of-the-art Japanese technology for environment-friendly means of transport. The JICA representative said the project reflects ongoing cooperation between Egypt and Japan to support sustainable development efforts. And Higher Education and Scientific Research Minister Ayman Ashur said yesterday that Egypt came in 35th place in terms of public spending on research and development R&D among 86 countries worldwide. According to a report by the globaleconomy.com, Egypt ranked second among the Arab countries, following the United Arab Emirates, and first in Africa in terms of spending on research and development or R&D. The report said that Egypt's spending on R&D reached 0.96%, that's almost 1% of its GDP. Egypt's spending on R&D recorded 59 billion Egyptian pounds in 2021, with an increase of 3 billion Egyptian pounds compared to 2020, the report revealed. Within the Arab context, Egypt was followed by Saudi Arabia, which came third, then Oman, which ranked fourth, and Kuwait, that took the fifth position. Time now for a short report, and short break, and when we come back, we'll be watching a report on the main topic of our program here tonight, the energy mix and the best cost scenario, and we'll be introducing you to our distinguished guests here in the studio. Please stay with us. Welcome back, dear viewers, and thank you for staying with us. With us now here in the studio is Engineer Mohamed Selim, member of the Arab Union for Sustainable Development and Environment. Thank you very much, Engineer Selim. Great pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Allow us, Engineer Selim, dear viewers, to watch first a report about our main topic for this episode, the energy mix and the best cost scenario, and then come back and start our discussion.
Great.
Experts emphasized on Egypt's great potential of renewable sources and how introducing hybrid sources of energy on the short and long terms is best to solve future energy crises and protect the environment in Egypt. The country's potential renewable sources of energy could cover 3 times the country's current needs. Egypt is blessed with 9 to 11 hours of sunshine per day and a high speed of wind that reaches 10 meters per second. The government has been working throughout the past years on different projects of renewable energy. It has also issued a number of legislations to increase the use of renewable energy sources. Experts believe that Egypt needs to invest in solar grids and biogas energy plants, not only due to the abundance of waste in different forms, but also to diversify the different sources of energy. With 100 million tons of organic waste produced in Egypt, there are so many opportunities to produce clean energy. Using renewable energy is not only about finding alternative sources to conventional energy like petroleum, but also about preserving the environment. Usually, hybrid energy is the best way to utilize these resources and save energy. Using multiple and hybrid renewable sources energy will definitely alleviate Egypt's recurring energy problems.
Thank you very much, Abir Hussein and Rasha Abdul Hamid, for this report back here in the studio with Engineer Mohamed Selim, board member of the Arab Sustainable Energy Council, the Arab Union for Sustainable Development and Environment. Engineer Selim, you listened to the report with us. Talk about diversification, the importance of diversification, and talk about the fact that it's not just about the best economics. It's about preserving the environment. We just in November, I mean, Egypt hosted the world in COP27. A lot of recommendations came out in this regard. Can you give us an update of how you see the picture now?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Really, as mentioned in the report, it is not only for economic issue, but also for climate change preservation. One point I would like to say regarding to strategy analysis, that we should have the internal and external environment scanning for what are the factors impact our economy and impact the climate change as a whole. Then Egypt has, if we make a SWOT analysis and make this SWOT analysis tied with the opportunities and threats all over the world, that a clear answer that we should make this strategy, the diversification of our resources, based on the conventional and renewable energy. Even that we have really the COP27 that which makes a great site for Egypt all over the world. That's also very ambitious for all of us.
Yeah, it should help us in our plans, right?
Yes. One point I remember since 2000. The year of 2000, there is a program in Ministry of Electricity regarding to the power pool. This program mentioned that which unit of production, conventional power plant, should be operated in high efficient. So we recorded every unit in each power plant with the specification, technical specification of this unit. Was the optimum operation and was the optimum efficiency of this unit at different loads. Then if this power plant use more fuel than that should be, then the Egyptian Electricity Holding Company will not pay much for that. So it is at that time we consider the efficiency only. But now we can see this. It is not only efficiency and technical efficiency, but also regarding to the emissions of CO2. And really, there is now a good market for emission trading system, ETS, and also the carbon tax. That we mentioned, and we are looking forward to apply and to take this in high potential, not only in Egypt, but all the Arab countries to use this trade.
Some Arab countries have started?
Really, it's, we can see that all over the world, most of the world mentioned only China and Europe and Canada, but even the states only, United States, a part of states, and Brazil also has also intention to do that. South Africa only in Africa makes that, and we are going to do that. Really, this is the carbon trade system. I want to focus on that.
Yes,
okay. You should, or any company, or even any factory, for example, for a steel factory or cement or even whatever it is, he should not use energy as he needs only. No, he should make a control for the emissions.
Right.
If he emission more than what he should, then he should pay for that. Okay, and if he save more, saved means emissions less.
Right.
Okay,
right.
Then he can collect and create a certificate for this carbon, and also this is as a trade.
Right.
But
So that's a sort of an incentive to keeping carbon emissions at the lowest level possible.
it's considered as it is not as incentives only, but it's a trade. Really, it's a trade to save our planet. Really, we have no time. We have no time to operate our system inefficiently. Okay.
Like the way it used to be in the
Yes,
past.
as usual.
Yeah.
As usual scenario, mentioned that. So we should exert extra effort for keeping our units operate in high efficiency. When I mean unit, it is not only the power plant, but also the factories, whatever.
Yeah.
And add the renewable energy. That is zero emissions that. So you can operate.
That's the mix.
That's the mix that we mentioned, the energy mix. And what's the best cost scenario of that? We should mention that. Okay.
So for this to happen, it has to be a gradual process, right?
Sure.
So how fast or how slow should we be moving?
In fact,
to do it right.
Yes. In fact, there is learned lessons and there is handbooks for that. Okay. But so far, we should have here a committee in Egypt to do this job beside the hydrogen, because hydrogen will be also one source of this mix, of energy mix.
Right.
So this coalition should be prepared to make the system run and run effectively and efficiently. Okay, so one more point regarding to the demand side. In electricity section, we or the Ministry of Electricity work hardly in the work professionally in the supply side. Okay, but still in demand side, still there is a lot of job should be done. Even it's already started, but still should be more efficient. One more issue regarding to the carbon trading system. It is not only for power plants or electric sector only, but also can be used in petroleum and used in transportation and even in agriculture.
Right.
So all these systems should be collected together and should made a strategy to for low cost scenario and also the low carbon for keeping our climate change.
Right. You mentioned hydrogen, Engineer Selim. The President mentioned on Monday that the state is seeking to provide the local needs from hydrogen, and said the state is very much keen on the stability of the agricultural sector. So could you talk to us about the importance of such a step?
Really, Egypt do a great effort. It is not only for certain infrastructure or no. It is really the strategy of the country looks and take care of all sectors all over the country, and matched with the strategies of all the world, for UNDP, for the World Bank, once the strategy of the country or national determined scenario of carbon dioxide emissions control, this matched with the all over the strategy. Regarding to the hydrogen, and the plant has been inaugurated last week, I think.
Yes, Monday.
Monday. Really, it's one advantage or competitive advantage to the country, to Egypt, that this can be prepared and can be also exported and can be used also in local market. So really, we have this good one issue, and makes also the natural gas in different or petrochemicals in different use in local and also for export.
There was also a tri-generation plant that was inaugurated. Could you explain to us what's a
generation plant? Really, I didn't. There is a generation plant for hydrogen.
Yeah.
Maybe for hydrogen, but I didn't really go deeply in that.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Now, also, Egypt has a lot of, of sunshine, a lot of wind. So, how can we best exploit these gifts, nature gifts?
Thank you. This is the mix. This is the energy mix. What's the meaning of energy mix? Energy mix that you can mix diversity of the resources, even if it is conventional or renewable. But now, even maybe since long time, there is a word that we said that the renewable energy will make a replacement for conventional. Maybe not 100%. For example, for Egypt, we have 40, the percentage of Egypt for share, it's around 42% by 2035.
42% for what? For conventional or renewable?
No, renewable.
Renewable.
A renewable share.
Right.
Renewable share.
It should reach 42%
Yeah, 42.
by 2035.
Yes, 42% of generation.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Also, this is the same in all most of Arab countries, and this will help that there is a certificate for carbon or emissions control.
The trade you were...
That's the trade we mentioned,
Yeah.
okay? So we want to start up this market with the same time that we are working in the same. For example, for Benban. For Benban, there is 1,460 megawatt of PV system. And also in the Za'afaran and the others wind farms in Egypt. Are there any certificates for emissions? Maybe, should be. I have some information, but it is not formal, that maybe some certificate has been sold to one country or something like that, but still not mentioned all over the country. For example, for small units, we make maybe if it is a private sector or any citizen want to build a power plant or PV system with 50 kilowatt, okay? Then how much it's saving by a year, then collecting such small units, then make a certificates for a trading of CO2, okay?
And the 42% share of renewable energy by the year 2035, is that an easily achievable goal, or will it take more drastic or more swift measures to achieve, in your view, as an expert in this field? And can we do better than 42%?
Okay, if we can, it is not easy, but it is cost much. So one more issue that the private sector and investors working deeply in that, okay? Resource, the sun or the wind is there, but how you can use this source to generate electricity. And one more point, how embed or integrate such resource with the grid and make the balance of operation and stability and secure of power supply. This is not
a lot of
easy.
issues. So not just the initial high cost initially, but also issues of
there is different
coordination.
Sure. And even
but it's achievable.
It's achievable, almost achievable, yes.
But not easy.
Not easy. It is not easy. And for example, also.
But it's an ambitious goal.
Yes, sure.
That we have to work for.
Yes. One more point I want to say, that regarding to the global share of the solar energy, around 5 terawatt till 2030.
What's terawatt?
Terawatt, more than giga.
That's
1,000 giga.
1,000
giga, yes. Okay.
Okay.
This is a huge amount, okay? But this 5 terawatt is not sufficient to keep the planet for warm up only 1.5 degrees centigrade.
Right.
And then UN said that we needs to be 10 instead of 5. Around there is a fraction for that. Okay.
Right. Double.
Double. Almost double. So this will cost much. Who will pay? Okay. And in the same time, people do something.
Probably the richer will pay, the richer countries, because they are the ones that have more at stake.
Maybe you remember my word. There is a trade-off. Okay, there is a trade-off. But what's related to our planet, we should protect our planet. Our global, the warming up will make a lot of trouble on the earth. So we should work on that. Economically, we should consider, politically, we should consider, and also the resources and technical issues should be considered. As PESTEL, we mentioned, and the analysis mentioned that PESTEL for political, for environment, for social, for legal, for all these issues should be considered to be analyzed by experts to state the good strategy.
And what should be the world's, do we have a number by the year 2035 on the renewable energy share globally of the production?
Yes, around it is around it should be added around 10 tera till 2030.
Right.
Okay. But we have all now until 2022 around 1 tera.
And it should be 10.
And should be 10 by 2030. Okay, but now we have around 1 tera all over the world.
That's a long way to go.
Yes, a long way to go, but really the speed up or the growth rate is high. But still,
there's an exponential factor.
Sure, there is. But still, we have to control the bad areas, like wars or for firing in forests and cutting the trees. All these issues should be considered. It is not only just to build up power plants and use the resources and like that, but on other side, your friend or your people, another people makes cutting of trees and make wars and make something like that. So we should collaborate together to reach and achieve the goals to protect our planet. And as I mentioned, there is no time. It's really, if it is not done now, it will impact seriously impact our planet.
You know, I have a feeling that we'll keep talking about this for years and years to come. I mean, the goal is not to see temperatures increase by more than 1.5%.
1.5 degrees centigrade.
Degrees Celsius. I mean,
yes.
1.5 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
That's by the year what? 2050?
Until 2030.
Until 2030.
Yes. Warming of the environment should not be higher
than 1.5 degrees Celsius.
Increased, yes.
From now until 2030.
Yes.
But the way the already agreed upon or signed protocols and conventions do not allow for this, right? I mean, we could exceed this.
It should be more.
Yeah,
should do more.
We should do more of an effort globally.
Yes.
So what did COP27 give us in this regard? I mean, COP27 gave very good results on the loss and damage issue.
Sure.
On the potential trade of the carbon trade, but on that specific point.
The point, loss and damage fund, this is done especially for the areas that will happen or that affected or impacted due to this crisis. But still regarding to build up renewable energy power plants to reach the 10 tera until 2030 is based on the investment and national determined contribution. There is said that NDC, every country has NDC that they will contribute by this certain. For example, Egypt, as I mentioned, 42. For example, Jordan will build 1.8 giga, Saudi Arabia around 9.6 gigawatt. Okay.
Egypt again, how much?
42% of the generation. That's around, maybe it's until 2023 there is around 10 giga total of renewable energy in Egypt.
Okay.
And we have a lot of contracts have been done maybe less than 2 weeks ago with AMIA and
following COP27, right?
Yes. Okay. Morocco makes good progress regarding they prepare to build around 11 gigawatt. One more point I want to really address.
Please.
Also, I think that experts see us regarding to the CSP, Central Solar Plants, or in thermal or in generation. This is dispatchable. Dispatchable power means that you can use it at any time. But regarding to the renewable energy, PV or wind, you cannot use it anytime. It is once it generates, you can use. If it is not generate, you can't use. But CSP, you can use at any time. Similarly, biogas, you can use at any time. So the dispatchable power plants should be in top priority. And we can use it. Maybe I wouldn't like to mention, but okay, Mr. Nukrashi, he is our friend in the same group. He mentioned really that we want to build CSB 5 power plants for 50 megawatt for each, and even Europe looks to connect or interconnection with Egypt. They ask for clean energy, not conventional energy. They need a clean energy that's zero carbon. So this is also good opportunity with the analysis for the strategy that we can. And there is one connection now between Algeria and also Europe.
Okay.
It is only 270 kilometers distance.
Beautiful. Because we only have 2 or 3 minutes left, I wanted to ask you this question really, if you allow me. In an ideal world, by year what, I mean year 2050, 2060, 2070, year what, should we use only this percentage of conventional energy and the rest should be renewable energy? I mean, conventional energy use obviously will go down and renewable energy will go up. But at year what should we have, which mix that in an ideal world would be the best?
I can tell you, I can tell you, there is Switzerland, I think, or in Europe, maybe reached 100% of renewable. Okay?
So that's the ideal world?
No, I want to tell you one answer. Technology in progress. If a storage system succeed within the recent years, then conventional power plants cannot be used anymore. At that time, we can use only renewable energy, but it's a dream. It's a dream. And all the world look for that. And there is different technologies that used with zero emissions, like nuclear power plants, but maybe for safety, they minimize it. But for peace, it's also
so in an ideal world, it would be 0% emissions, naturally.
Yes. And we have two. We have to reach this point.
We have to reach
yes,
this
we have to reach this point to make this balance of our planet.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay.
So we trade this system and pay for the people who save emissions.
We hope to reach it one day indeed.
Yes, I hope
Thank you
so.
very much, Engineer Mohamed Selim,
Thank you very
board
much.
member of the Arab Sustainable Energy Council, the Arab Union for Sustainable Development and Environment. Pleasure having you with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear viewers, for watching Business Insider. Next week, same time, a new episode. Until then, have all the best. Goodbye.